Hey folks, so as you can see, I've got my little, here's MSI Afterburner. This is folding at home. This is for apps. We don't. Basically, this is a little video to show you how easily you can add, say, 20 or 30 bucks to your video card, depending on which one it is. But for this specific video, it's kind of more aimed at GTX 560 Ti users. I do suggest that you use MSI Afterburner, and as well as, I suggest a MSI card or ASUS card, specifically the Twin Frozr II from MSI or the Direct CU2 from ASUS. Now, in terms of what we're talking about clock speeds for the core clock, the shader clock, and also the memory clock. However, you can do what you want, but I'm basically just going to say, so I believe the GTX 560 Ti, I believe the clock speeds are about 800 megahertz on the core, and the shader clock is always, or at least I believe, always twice what the core clock is. So it would be 1600 megahertz. Memory clock is usually about 2000 megahertz, I believe. Now, the 560 Ti from the from MSI, the Twin Frozr II, they clock it up to 880 megahertz on the core, and thus 1760 megahertz on the shader, and about 21 or 2200 megahertz memory clock. Now, as you can see, my core and shader are not that, even though I do have a Twin Frozr II, as it says right here. Basically, what I've done is I looked at the clock speeds for the MSI GTX 560 Ti Hawk Edition, which is about $20 or $30 more than the Twin Frozr II, before if you have any instant savings or whatever. Wow, didn't even give me a chance to say goodbye. What an asshole. So basically, put simply, Hawk has really the only difference between the 560 Ti Twin Frozr II edition and the Hawk edition of the same card is the higher clocks and a slightly upgraded cooler, which I don't really think is actually better, because I've found a lot of reviews that the Hawk actually has issues with the cooler. So I would suggest just getting a Twin Frozr II, saving 20 or 30 bucks on something else, and OC'ing it yourself. Now, as you see here, I've already OC'd. My core clock is 950, making my shader clock 1900. I still have headroom for what I believe. I mean, I've been told I should just put the core clock up at 1 gigahertz, which I'm thinking about doing, honestly. But basically, these are the clocks of the Hawk. So essentially, I've saved $20 or $30, gotten the same performance, and this is the GPU under max load, pretty much. Folding at home is an extremely intensive application. And as you can see, it's only 51 degrees Celsius. Granted, I'm in a basement, and it's pretty much, it's getting cooler outside. It's a little cool down here. So, temperatures will vary based on ambient. And as you can see, the fan is only at 2460 RPM, which for the Twin Frozr II is honestly still pretty quiet. I wish this pop-up thing would stop showing up. It's annoying as hell. All the clocks are up at what they're designated. Memory usage is about half of what the card has available, so that's decent. A game is more likely to use more of it. This is really more using the card's clocks. So a good way to find out a GPU's stability is seeing if it can fold, and it's been folding for a while now. It's almost done, over 13,000 ppd. Folders will understand that, the rest of you probably won't. But, so yeah, that's just an easy way to add some value to your card. I do suggest being sure that it's stable. I don't really suggest doing this too much with reference coolers, because at stock reference coolers are still louder, and they're still going to be hotter. So, alright, hope you enjoyed.